Hello there, I'm Big Alias. I know it's been a while, and it's probably going to be a while until you get another one. And I know nobody's going to care about the subject, but this is something that I really needed to talk about and get off my chest because it annoys me. And I've been meaning to make a video in this vein for a long time, and suddenly it's come up again. And this conversation comes up a lot. And you know, I'm hugely into Halo, and I actually check back every day on YouTube for new Halo stuff. And potential gameplay, even though I know it's not going to be official until July, which is so annoying. I'm actually genuinely hoping someone leaks it, because that's what happens when you give your fans balls bluer than a pallet of blueberries. You know, for 2.5 years, people are going to want to see leaks, and they're going to want to leak it. And I don't care if they do at this point, so I really do hope that there's leaks. So I do check every day, and when I was looking, I chanced upon a video that brought up an old topic that it pops up a lot in the world of Halo, and it's from Eckhart's Ladder. You're not a true fan, you can't even pronounce his name. Bullshit. I know I can't pronounce his name. Is it Eckhart's Ladder? I'm not sure. Great guy though. And I genuinely watch his videos about things like Star Wars. And in my last recording of this, I said Star Trek, and I turned into my mum and my aunt and my nan all rolled into one. But no, I watch his videos about Star Wars, and they're great, and it's a great channel. And sometimes he does talk about Halo, and it's good. But this video really did kind of bug me a bit, because it was on the topic of whether Halo needs a battle royale, and he was in favor of it and saying that Halo absolutely does need a battle royale. And before I go on with this video, I do want to say actually that I think it's absolutely fine that he thinks that Halo needs a battle royale mode, but I do want to get my sort of opinion onto the table as well. I'm not just going to sort of sit back, and I think that there's a lot of stuff that advocates for Halo Battle Royale and trying to kill two birds with one stone here, just the overall modernization of Halo. A lot of people advocate for it. It's easy to get lost in the notion that because the vocal majority are saying they don't want this, that people do. People do actually want this. Ultimate Halo is another one, another great Halo YouTuber, and it feels as though he's just starting out, and he's doing really well, and that's so great to see. But he, made a video advocating for modernization of Halo, and I entirely disagree with that. I think, to say straight off the bat, the very notion that you would quote-unquote modernize Halo wouldn't be done in the way that it's being done anyway, and the way that we're sort of talking about it now, and the way that it's been talked about in previous videos. Things like Sprint. Dude, they're old hat now. You don't modernize Halo with Sprint anymore. Maybe back in 2010, 2009, that sort of era. But man, look at Doom, look at Overwatch. Games are looking for new ways to do traversal and do movement. Sprint, that's not a modernization at all. That's just digging up something from the past that people expected to be there and applying it to your game. It's not a modern feature. Just like advanced movement isn't a modern feature, but I can't see that coming back. But yeah, again, there are advocates for things like thruster packs and stuff like that. But as I said, it's not a modernization. Games aren't doing that anymore. Therefore, you're not really fitting in with the crowd. Though I'm glad that isn't the kind of mindset, because that is the root of what I want to talk about here. The reason I have an issue with Battle Royale mode, and I'm going to try to lump overall modernization into this, is it's for many reasons, and I want to talk about that now, and I want to discuss it. So I think what a lot of advocates for Battle Royale on Halo don't understand is that Halo's fanbase is incredibly unique. It is a very unique fanbase. It is unlike any gaming fanbase out there. And that's due to the fact that it had a meteoric rise, and then it didn't really glob on to any other things. It didn't really take the same path as Call of Duty and Battlefield and stuff like that when it was huge. When it was huge, it did its own thing, and then joined the scene late when it came to things like perks and kill streaks and Sprint and stuff like that. When Call of Duty and other games have been doing it since around about 2009, 2010, Halo joined the scene in 2012. Therefore, by not adding all of these features, these expected features, quote-unquote expected features, it didn't grab the attention of the people that Call of Duty and Battlefield and nowadays things like Fortnite and PUBG would grab. It grabbed an entirely different audience. And I think and even 343 and Microsoft, but I think what a lot of these advocates don't understand about the whole modernization thing is that Halo's audience are looking for one thing in particular, one very specific thing, and absolutely nothing else in their game. They're looking for a classic Halo experience. That is the only thing they want, and that's the only audience that is left. And this is going to be a tough pill to swallow, but if you're a Halo fan, you are going to have to accept this. They're not going to get anything else, because everything else is covered, and they're certainly not going to do that by doing what other games are going to do. But Halo is not going to garner the audience that Fortnite has, or the audience that PUBG has, because it had its time in the spotlight, and because it has this sort of very dedicated fan base that isn't really being pushed apart or added to. It just isn't. I mean, the past few years have definitely proven that, and this is reflected in the trailers. The trailers are very, very, over a few years of sort of taking time to realize this between Microsoft and 343, they've taken the time, they've understood, and they realized that the path that they should have taken all along was to target these classic fans, because that's what you have left. And that reflects in the trailers. All of the iconography in these Halo Infinite trailers, all of it is designed to tell you that, hey, this is that thing that you used to like. Unlike the Halo 4 or the Halo 5 trailers, which were entirely different and trying to tell you that, hey, there's this new thing. This is, hey, here's that thing you like. The second reason that we know that Halo's fan base is very sort of funneled and dedicated at this point, and that they want a classic art style, is that Microsoft is funding Master Chief Collection a damn sight more than it is Halo 5. It just... I mean, last year it funded 343 to make an expansion to Halo Reach, which doesn't even have the Master Chief in it, and it's the Master Chief Collection. It's a 10-year-old game, you know, an old Halo 10-year-old game, and rather than saying, hey, 343, make some maps for, you know, Halo 5, or make some new guns, make some new content, put new story missions, anything, just pop it into Halo 5. Rather than doing that, they said, hey, make this old game, because they know what we want. They know that the Halo fanbase is very specific with what it wants, and though there are a few people who want something different, the core, the people who come back to the game, the people who buy the game, who will be there every time that it comes out, they're looking for that one thing, and that's the only thing they want. They're not looking for a modernization, and it took, you know, Microsoft a long time to realize that all you're going to do is lose fans. You're not going to gain fans by doing different things, because that alienates the only audience that you have. As I said, it's a tough pill to swallow, but the audience isn't going anywhere. It really isn't. Halo has its own fan base, and they play Halo for that reason, and because they play Halo for that reason, that's all there is. And even if that wasn't the case, even if Halo had the ability to expand and get bigger, despite the fact that it's an Xbox exclusive and Xbox isn't what it used to be, but even if it was able to do so, I really don't think that the way to do it is to copy what other people are doing. I really don't think that's the path to success for Halo Infinite. Why would doing what everybody else is doing and not isolating yourself as a brand new, different, crazy experience and just go, hey, we're doing that thing too? Why would that bring people over to your game? If you made your game more like Call of Duty, then people are going to play Call of Duty. If you made your game more like Battlefield, people are going to play Battlefield. More like Overwatch, people are going to play Overwatch. Years and years of countless experiences have taught us this. This is how it works. And of course it's how it works. It's how I would feel. When Halo 4 came out, honestly, Black Ops 2 was a better game, because Halo 4 was trying to shoehorn all of this Call of Duty stuff in, and it became a bad Halo game and a bad Call of Duty game all wrapped up into one. And I would rather play Halo or Call of Duty than this weird hybrid edition that doesn't do either as well. And that's what would happen with the modernization of Halo. You alienate the fanbase who want the classic experience, and of course you don't bring anybody else in because they've already got their game, they're already playing their game. You have people who want to play Halo, you have to cater to them. You just got to do it. And yes, it's different with things like Call of Duty and Battlefield, but if you look at what they're doing, they're not changing things up to be like other games. The one time Call of Duty did was to try to kind of make it a little more like Overwatch, but even then it didn't really fully commit to it because it couldn't, because it knew what its fan base expected. This is audience expectancy in a nutshell. Changing things is just going to alienate people. It just is. And that's what it did. That's why Halo sales are down so much, because people darted away from the series and then they moved away and went on to something else. And you know what? They're doing that other thing now. The only thing that's going to attract people's attention, the only thing that will, is if you make a classic game, because it's going to do something that other games aren't going to do. You know, it's a USP. It's the first lesson in media marketing as a USP, a unique selling point. It has to have a reason for you to come and experience it. So with regards more to the Battle Royale, I think, just as a side note, I think there is a very apt comparison to a potential Halo Battle Royale mode, and that is Battlefield Firestorm, which absolutely crashed and burned, I think, I think it was last year. I don't even know. I don't even know when Firestorm came out. It did so poorly. And that is exactly what you will get with Halo. And allow me to explain why. It's very tempting to say that Halo could be big if it was a Battle Royale game because Warzone is big, because Warzone made it big. It's very easy to glob onto the franchises that actually did really well with Battle Royale, like Apex Legends and Fortnite and stuff like that. Hey, look how huge they are. Look, they're the top 3. All the top 3 on Twitch, all of them are Battle Royale games. Well, here's why that wouldn't apply to Halo. Battle Royale games, popular ones, have to follow, or any popular game, have to follow one of 2 categories, and neither of them fit to Halo. They either have to have the backing of a huge name, Warzone, Call of Duty. It already had Call of Duty, and then a pre-established game before Warzone even came out that built the engine off of it. Or your game has to be a new game, a new IP, a new experience that just pops up out of nowhere. There's a harder chance of actually making it big, but those are the 2 categories. You either have to have a huge name that is big right now and is doing incredibly well at the moment, or you have to make something new and just something that explodes in the scene. And that encompasses every big game in the world right now. That encompasses Warzone, Apex Legends, it encompasses Valorant, or however you pronounce that game. All of it. That is what all of those games are about. And I know it sounds as though that's everything, right? Either a big name or something new. But no, there is an in-between space. And that's where Battlefield sat. That's where Battlefield Firestorm was. Battlefield 5 really didn't do all that well. But also, it wasn't a brand new experience. Battlefield is Battlefield. It's always been Battlefield, and it just is. So, like Halo, it's not brand new, and it's not as big a name as something like Call of Duty. So it fails, because you've got to ask yourself, why would someone play that Halo Battle Royale experience? None of these advocates are asking, why would you play it? Why would you? No, not what would be cool, not what you think would be cool, not what people would attract, what would attract people to the game, not that. Why would people play it? It's not a huge established franchise, so it doesn't have like the gravity of something like Call of Duty. It doesn't have the huge fan base of something like Call of Duty, and it wouldn't be a new thing. It would be another Battle Royale game. That's why so many of them are failing, because none of them are able to grab the attention of a very specific fan base that is huge, but is very specific and fits into those 2 categories. And Halo, it just doesn't. Essentially, all of this comes down to the fact that Halo's fan base is not one that needs a Battle Royale game. If we don't need a Battle Royale game, the fans are asking for one thing. They're asking for very classic gameplay, and luckily 343 and Microsoft are doing that by the looks of it. The art style looks a lot more classic. We'll see when it comes to it, who knows. But it's very easy to read, and this is why I don't understand why people would advocate for things like Battle Royale modernization as a notion to making Halo big again and making Halo this big experience again. Because there's no reason for people to play it. Unless you're a Halo fan, unless you're that into the lore of Halo, unless you're that into, you love Halo that much. And guess what? If you do, you don't want a Battle Royale game. For the most part. I know, people like Accutt's Ladder and Ultimate Halo. Yeah, okay, you do. But most people don't. And 343 know that, and I hope they'll listen. And finally, my final point is that it will take away a lot of resources. It will take a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of resources that could go into things that Halo fans want. And 343 know that. We could get extra story missions instead of a Battle Royale mode. We can get extra features. We could get a ton of new maps, new armor customization, all of that. We could get all of that if there wasn't a Battle Royale mode. And before anybody says, no, it's a free add-on, it's just a free thing, it's a free thing. That is so wrong, by the way. That is absolutely false. Look at Black Ops 4. It didn't have a campaign so that it could fit a Battle Royale mode in. Imagine if Halo didn't have a campaign. Now, I know that's not going to happen, but what I'm saying is we are aware there is a huge trade-off when it comes to Battle Royale modes. It just is. It's very intensive, and I know they've taken 5 years. But what you have to remember is that they have developed a new engine. and they have sort of been working with new software. They've had to go from 2015 and then kind of adapt to a new hardware, adapt to new hardware. And yeah, it is taking a long time. Do I want them to spend that time making a battle royale mode? Absolutely not. Do I want them to spend that time making a good story, fleshing it out, lots of missions, lots of content, lots of things to do? Abso-fucking-lutely. And I think that's what most people want. You know, as I said before, Halo fans, we just don't want battle royale, and I think that's proven by the dislikes. You know, the number of dislikes on that Eckhart's ladder video, and you know, again, it is just his opinion, and that's what he wants. He wants a battle royale mode, but you're in the minority, dude. I mean, you just are. And even if there are lots of people, even if there are loads of people saying, "Hey, Warzone did it. Warzone's huge. This could bring Halo back onto the map," I hope after what I've said that kind of proves that that's not the case. Halo has a very specific demographic, and people who they're not gonna stop playing Halo because the Call of Duty fans are playing Call of Duty, and Call of Duty are giving them new reasons to play all the time, and they're looking for an experience like Call of Duty. They're not looking for an experience like Halo, and Halo will never not be a Halo experience. That's the point of Halo. People who play, let's say, Overwatch, they're looking for a hero shooter. They're not going to go to Halo. They're not going to go to that new thing, especially if it plays like Call of Duty, but it's not Call of Duty. Why would I bother? However, if Halo comes up with this brand new way to play, which is an old way to play, but also new at the same time because it's been long enough, you know, no sprint, classic gameplay, good old just classic stuff. If they just harnessed that and went full on with that, they'd have a game that no one else is making. I mean, Doom, coming close, but Doom is a lot faster than Halo's ever been. Halo could be something completely new now. You know, it's ironic that they're globbing onto quote-unquote modernization in order to, you know, keep themselves as vibrant and as popular as possible, when the most popular thing they could do is ignore all of that. And that applies to why I don't think Halo should be modernized and why I don't think there should be a Battle Royale mode. There is just no need for it. It would take up a bunch of resources, and it could actually pan the game, because if the Battle Royale mode doesn't do well and it's taken a bunch of features out of the game, or it's, you know, bankrupted 343, then we might not even get another Halo, you know, and it could really do damage to it. So no, Halo Infinite does not need a Battle Royale mode. Yes, some people want it. Yes, the person whose video I'm responding to wants it, and that's cool. But I suggest go play Warzone or something, because that's the Battle Royale that people want to play. And one of the things about Battle Royale, which I don't like, by the way, I just don't like Battle Royale, man. It's so boring. I prefer games. That's another thing, actually. I know this is going on for way too long, but Halo fans, they look for a game where you're always doing something. They are Halo fans. They're remnants of a previous generation where you respawned. You actually respawned, and you were always doing something. You were always doing something. Halo fans don't want something where you're not always doing something. Even the ones who like Halo 5 are playing a game where you respawn and you're always doing something. Battle Royale, you're not. You're just hanging out, waiting for stuff to happen. Just, it's designed for people to stream and be able to text their friends while they play games. That's all it is. But yeah, anyway, I digress. It's no need for it.